So we're going to talk about student engagement, and this is something I feel pretty passionate about because I used to be like not good at it. So here we go. And I'll tell you kind of a horror story about my own student engagement struggles in a minute. So my goal for you today is just to give you some ideas or tools that you can use. If you want to have your phone out, if you want to get your computer out so you can write those things down, or even go ahead and download those on your computer, you're more than welcome to do that. If you just want to sit and listen and absorb, that's fine too. All right. I would say this about student engagement, and it's probably inflammatory to some people, but I truly believe that if you don't build relationships with your students, nothing that we do in the four walls of our classroom, between the lines of the fields or the courts that we're on, or anything else will ever matter. Because until I know, this is me as an adult now, until I know that you care about me, I'm not going to reciprocate that, right? And so you're not going to get my full attention. You're not going to get my best effort. And so I would say this. When I was at Rogers, our whole first week, you were not allowed to teach. You could only do relationship building, and administration built literally thousands of slides for us to do every day. I do a little bit of that here, not to the extent that they do. Again, mine is still a little more content driven, and I'll give you an idea of what that looks like. But a TED Talk, if you've never listened to that, you need to listen to, is Dr. Rita Pearson. She did it like 2012 or 2013, but she talks about the importance of relationships in education. One of the quotes I really like from her is, every child deserves a champion, an adult who's never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. Is this job tough, meaning us in education? Yeah, you bet you. She says, oh God, you bet you. But it is not impossible. We can do this. We're educators. I think about my two boys who are in elementary right now. Two people have had very significant impacts on them so far. Mr. Tommy, and then more than two, I'm sorry, but Mr. Tommy and then their teachers so far. Why? Because they did a great job of building relationships. Sarah Shoemaker in pre-K had my son Nathan. Nathan was at an academy in Rogers and was told, hey, he's got like autism and he's, not a very good student and like all these things, like you guys need to go. We got the child and we're like, okay, here we go. This is either gonna go really good or really bad. And she loved on him and he never had any problem. He's never had any problem since he got here. Why? Well, it's because the teachers that we have here, they're so focused on relationship building. And so I would push you to do the same. And so what does that look like if we want to build relationships? This is just something I do. It's probably way too intensive. It's probably much harder than it has to be, but I will create seating charts in RenWeb that have their picture, and I really try to memorize their name and what they look like before they come on the first day. But I carry around colored note cards or index cards, and I'll go around and I'll have a conversation with those students on the first day that didn't have anything to do with school. And I'll write that down on those note cards. I'm making notes as we're having those conversations. And for that, the first 2 or 3 weeks, I'm coming in the next time and say, hey, Megan, yesterday you told me about this. Tell me more about this. Brian, you said your dad works at JB Hunt. Like, what does he do? What does that look like? And it's really led to some pretty interesting conversations. Like, you'd never guess what these kids are really interested in or the struggles they've had. Drew Ramsey, just randomly, we're just sitting down talking, and I shared something I was struggling with, and he came up after class and said, hey, I'm really thinking about not playing football anymore. And these are some conversations I've had, and I don't feel good. Like being able to have that conversation with them, say, hey, it's totally okay, and share a little bit of advice comes with that. So build relationships. You can download all kinds of questionnaires on Teachers Pay Teachers and make those your own. One thing I do in psychology is it is content driven, but I grew up a lot with my grandparents when I was little, and they used to watch the Game Show Network on Dish TV, I think is what it was, and there was a matching game, like a dating matching game. That's kind of what this is. We play speed dating, but you have to perform. They have to act out as if they are that psychologist. And we really try to make connections between what psychologists believe similar things to each other and why that was and that. And then we get to have really good conversations surrounding that. And then, of course, there's an old questionnaire. This is my favorite. It's called Pear Deck. It's free. A lot of people used it during COVID, but it is a Google Chrome extension. So you just download it. It goes onto your computer. What I like about this is as you're creating slides, you can do all kinds of things. You can make kids match things up. You can give them practice multiple choice questions. You can ask an essential question and then have them write for a certain amount of time. And then what I like about it is I can freeze their screen and then pull up all the answers without their name being on it. So we don't know whose it is, but we can go through those together, and then I can quickly assess on the fly where we are with understanding the content. And it keeps me from having to go back and waste days on reteaching, but I can just correct right there, right? I don't have to go through and give them a test, all that stuff. So I like that. Sometimes I'll ask fun questions like, we got the walk-up questionnaire. It could be that, right? And I always just tell them, as long as it's school appropriate, good, okay? So I really like Career Deck. If you're a big bell ringer or exit ticket person, you can actually tell it their answers, and then when you click to end the presentation, it automatically saves to your Google Drive, and it will grade things for you. And so all you have to do is go through and go, oh man, that Sutterfield kid, he's not very good. 1 out of 5, whatever. You can go like really, really fast through there, and it just makes your life a little easier. There's just so much you can do with it. To give you an example, I had to teach about imperialism last year, and until we got involved in South America, there wasn't a lot of very interesting things to talk about. And so we ended up doing a case study. So again, we can break up the monotony, right? I had kids read these 2 slides and answer that question and get up and move around while they did that. So it's a great tool. I would ask you this: what legitimate opportunities are you giving students to engage in meaningful discussion about the content? And what I mean by that is, are you asking them to just stay in their desk for 44 minutes? I'll die. Get them up, get them moving, get them talking. I'll do this all the time. I'll say, hey, find someone who's got the same colored shirt on you do. Go talk to that person for a minute, or go find 2 people that, whatever, but get them up, get them moving. And a lot of us, I think, assume that because it's loud and because they're up, we're doing something bad, right? We've all been told, don't do that, don't. It's quiet, or a loud room is a bad room. It's not, right? If you set the expectation, the parameters, they'll follow. They're really good. And so, if you think that that's going to be a problem, you just need what's called an attention getter, okay? And so you can buy like a wireless doorbell, which is what I have. I just plug it into the back of my room, and they know when they hear that doorbell go off, conversation stops, they go back to their seat. I've used the little like hotel bell, I don't know what it's called, where network's okay. A lot of them seem to do well, like if you do the hey, hey, Shiloh, and they do hey, hey, Saints, just because they're so used to it. There's all kinds of stuff. Don't jump off furniture, but there's all kinds of stuff. I really like this, carousel activities. It's so easy. Literally, if I was Miss A, I have no idea anything about art. I'll look at, that's great. If she needed to teach, she could literally print off pictures of paintings or whatever it is that she needs to focus on, take the painter's tape, hang it up around the wall, which is what I do with like political cartoons and stuff like that. And then I'll go to Picker Will Teams, which is also free, and I just copy and paste my roster and say, hey, I need X amount of groups. I click the spin, it creates it, I copy and paste it on my board. They know what they need when they walk in, they get in there. And we just take off. And then I've got timers from YouTube in the slides, but they're up, they're moving. And again, I can quickly assess our understanding of the content based on the conversations that I hear. And so we can correct kind of as we go. But again, they're up, they're not sitting in their seat for 44 minutes. This is a big one. When we get to like October and November and we're in the thick of it, how are you going to bring the energy? I think about this. My first year coach was a terrible coach. I brought no energy. I would just walk out there and we, did the same old stuff, the same old way every time. But like last year with imperialism, I could have said, hey, this is going to be so boring. Let's just knock it out, get through it. I don't feel comfortable doing it. Or I could spend the time to make an engaging activity about imperialism and connect it to what they were seeing in the news in South America and ask them the question, are we still an imperialistic nation? And they appreciate those things. If you will stand outside your door and fist bump those kids, or if you'll play music in your classroom, if you'll keep them hyped, you won't have to worry so much about behavior or engagement. And again, you're building those relationships, you're bringing the energy, they know you care, they know that you're excited about it, even though you may not be, right? Those things will make all the difference for them. I would love to be Megan and teach Unbroken. There's so much cool stuff about Louisiana printing. I would take your kids to the Plane Museum in Bentonville and let them go see some of the things that the Walton family has. It's free, by the way. You could, I try to go to the World War II Museum. Yeah. So there's all kinds. There's even the museum in Fayetteville. Like there's so many things that you can get into when it comes to this. But it does come down to our planning and really trying to put our best foot forward in there. I think a lot of us already use this or have at least heard about it. It's called Classroom Screen. It's free. It's easy. I always put 3 boxes on the screen. I post the standards and objectives, and then I put the schedule for the class, and then what they need for the day, and then they know, usually within the first week, hey, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna look at the board, it's exactly what we're doing, exactly what I need, and it keeps me from having to say, hey, do this, do that. I'm also not a big bell ringer person, right? I just wanna come in and get started after a little conversation, and then that helps kind of with that. But you can certainly do bell ringers. It has timers, it has deal that you can make groups in it, there's all kinds of stuff. And then lastly is Brisk. It also is free. It's an AI tool for teachers. I mainly use Brisk for accommodations. And what I mean by that is if I create an assignment and I have a kid who has a DSP, I can actually, obviously I'm not gonna put their name on it, but I can put those accommodations in there with that document and say, hey, I need it accommodated for this and I need it to meet these criteria. And it will make that, and here's the good thing, it doesn't look any different than what the kids that don't have accommodations have. And so then you don't get into, oh, well, Matt's got something different than I do, right? It looks the exact same. It's easy, it will make presentations, it'll make viewing guides for YouTube videos. I've had it make slides, they're okay. It won't put like pictures and things, or it tries to make its own, and they look more cartoony than anything, but it's a great tool. I know Bentonville just spent several $1 million on it, on the paid version for their teachers. So it's a great tool. If you write a lot in your class, you can put a rubric in there and it will grade the paper for you. You obviously kind of have to double check it a little bit, but it's a great tool to use, especially for accommodations. And then lastly, I'm here to help, so if you have questions or need an idea or think of something later, there's my info. And I'm happy to answer questions about any of the things I mentioned or anything else you might have for the last minute.
Woo! Thank you, Cory. What was the classroom resource, Cory?
Do it again.
Classroom what? What was that called?
Classroom Screen.
Will you just send that out?
Do what?
Will you send that out?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Thank you.
Okay.
yes.
The other one was
And I think I even linked it
Pear or
up there.
something.
Pear Deck.
Pear Deck, thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Pear Deck sounded awesome. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And there's, I should have said this, when it comes to the Classroom Screen, I don't know how many of you like this or not, I do. If you can find cool pictures, you can actually upload it and that'll make it a screen. So like if you like the SC logo or whatever, you can make that your background on there. I like nature stuff, so we put nature stuff on it. Whatever. Cool. So, yeah. Anything else?
I'll just pick up your oars and I will row with you.